Hi guys, my name is Spudbot and I'm going to be doing my very first review. I'm going to be doing it on Grimlock, mainly Masterpiece Grimlock. But I'm also going to tell you why I absolutely love Grimlock and adore him and why he's my idol of Transformers and my holy grail. The reason why is because he's a complete badass. He never listens to Optimus and he does what he wants. And he just absolutely does not care what he thinks. And to be fair, another reason why I do like him is in the Transformers movie, Grimlock just straight up starts kicking Unicorn's bum and burning it, which is hilarious. And another reason that I also like Grimlock is because of his whole character development with him being stupid, which dinosaurs were supposedly to be quite dumb. And another thing that I very much like is that he breathes fire. I like fire quite a lot, even though it's bad to look at. And just the overall fact that he also thinks that he, in a sense, is the best. And another reason why I like him is because in one of the episodes, I'm not sure if I'm definitely correct, but he actually stands up against Optimus and almost wins. I think Optimus gets away, but if I'm correct, I think Grimlock does something to Optimus's arm. If I'm correct, not sure, still, absolutely love it. And, well, that's about it, really. And I'm going to be doing the review on MP8 Masterpiece Hasbro exclusive Toys R Us version Grimlock. And I'm going to get down to always posability and whatnot, but first I'm going to show you size comparison with Takara's Grimlock and like the different paint apps and whatnot. So I thought I'd just bring it in. And straight off the bat, I know something that you might see that is different is on his knees it has red, while on the Takara one it doesn't. Another difference between them both is the Takara has more chromish shiny feet, while with this one it's more matte, but it's still a little bit shiny. And what I quite like about this Grimlock is, well, not just because of the paint apps, but the overall look that it gives with where the paint is put. It's quite imposing for what it is. And I'm going to go into posability now. So, yeah. I'll get into gimmicks just a bit later. He has finger articulation, just 3 fingers though, if you can just see that. All 3 of them can go down. He hasn't got a wrist swivel, which is a shame. And a joint just on his elbow and a 360-degree angle. How I got into his hand like that is I'll just stick it like that, I flip it down and I bent his elbow backwards, which sounds quite horrible and mean. And that's how I generally got it like that. Oh, and he has chrome fingers. The other one has chrome fingers as well though. It's a bit of a bad noise. Yeah. And then he also has somewhat of a neck swivel, which is pretty nice. But it can't really stay like that all too much, and it breaks the initial pose that little bit. His head can go up and down. Jaw moves up and down. And, well, I'm going to go into the gimmicks in this general section. I'll do the other ones a bit later in Dinobot form. One of the things he has is his flamethrower tongue, and it is posable. So that's very nice. And he has chrome teeth. Very nice as well. But if you get this button on his left cheek, on his face, if you push it, it closes his mouth. Just like that. another gimmick that he has is with his face. If you just rip out his head in a way, which is quite brutal, you can swap his eyes into the cartoon accurate eyes, or you can have it red like the toy. And that's about it for as far as the head goes. And then if we just get onto the legs, 360-degree turn, swivel, so articulation, just where his knee goes backwards and forwards. You can give him a bit of a broken leg, just straighten all that out. And he has a tiny bit of articulation on his tail, which still looks pretty dynamic, and it doesn't break it up overall, luckily, because it's a robot, so it makes a bit more sense when it breaks up that tad, because it ain't skin. You can move these, but that's more for the gimmick, in a sense, out of what I've found with the gimmick with space. But what you can do is, if I just... you get the tail and you can just move it side. There. Work. Well, it generally turns. Sometimes it doesn't work for me, which, oh well, but you get the general idea. It goes side to side when you wiggle his tail, generally speaking. Oh, and then another comparison is with G1 Grimlock. So it is very much bigger if you actually have the G1 Grimlock and you know what his size actually is, generally. So there's that. And he can't do any storage, sadly, which some of his accessories that he comes with was an afterthought, with it coming afterwards, the original general G1 toy. But what you can do is you can get his butt flaps, just here, open them up, left and right cheek, and you can get his crown, and you might have to orientate it so it fits, but generally if you get it in there, you can it'll fit, and it's quite nice, and you can always just make him poop out his crown for the laughs. I just lost the crown. There we go. Probably I'm now going to go on to the transformation, which is finicky but fun, but not too finicky. It's a happy medium in my opinion. Simple, but it has its feats of engineering in my opinion. First, well, I'm just gonna get my nail. Split his belly open, very tragic. Do it so it doesn't have too much clearance with the legs, but if you just get it on the right kind of thing, but if you just flip out the head, so the head work, please. There we go. The peg there, just on his back, that tiny little peg. And just cut it into his back. Now it looks like his, yeah. And you can just like flip them out. I'll show you like that. Fold them out. You can have them decently moved to where you want. I generally just have it not straight, but just one click back, in my opinion. Your toy, do what you want. Just don't break it, please. It's Grimlock. And what I like to do is just position the arms, not necessarily like in the cartoon, but I change it that little bit so it looks a bit more imposing for when he has his crown on and whatnot. And I just move his fingers like that, so they're more spread out. It looks a bit more imposing in my opinion. Get his other arm, do the exact same. If you want to, that is. Just like that. Come to his upper body. And just flip it up. It don't clip in at the moment, which it will later. There we go. On his arm, he has a little flap just to open it. Flip his hand out. Just like that. You can bend the toes, but not too much, obviously, if you want him to be holding his weapons. But a couple of people did complain with them wanting it so the toes go in a bit more, so it doesn't stick out as much. But I think it's perfectly fine. It's quite nice how it looks. Do the same with the other one, which is a bit tricky. Just give me a moment. There we go. And then you can get his other hand out and close it. Now his leg section / tail. Go to his tail. There we go. Split the bottom. And then you can just rip his tail apart. Don't bring it out too much because of mainly clearance, but you want to be able to do that for the next step. I'll just swivel this so you can see what I'm about to do. Get his butt flap. This is a wonderful how it does it, but you just bring his leg up a little. It folds away and it actually fills up the leg, which is very nice. Get a tiny little bit of the tail there. Flip it in. Don't quite put this in yet, because what you want to do is you want to bring out the leg on the very nice ratchet twice. Then you can straighten it. Then you can bend it so it's aligned. And then you flip the toe piece after you clip everything together, because there's a little slot here and here and fits nicely just like that. Then you just get that part and flip it in. Get the waist and flip it up. Just like that. What I do quite like is with the tail, it actually makes the back part of his leg. But I would have liked if we could have had an option for you to maybe actually have it on the outside, which it would kind of go along with the more with his eyes being able to be blue or red. It'd work kind of like that in the sense that with that kind of feature. Then you just do the same with the other leg. Like so. Just like that. Flip. That's like that. Or put his waist up like that. Then what you can do is you can just get his abdomen and just plug it in. That also clear it and stop it from... It's a bit wobbly, but oh well. And then just get everything situated how you would like it. Oh, you find out what that's for later. Just like so. There we go. And that's Grimlock in his robot mode. Just generally in his robot mode without accessories and whatnot. I'll get onto those a tiny bit later after posability and height comparison. I won't be using the G1 and the other masterpiece because they're not transformed. So head can go up and down, swivel, but only so much because it gets blocked unless you want to snap his neck backwards. Just like that. His arm can do a 360, but gets in the way of the wings, so you can just move it, and it still doesn't really make it, but you can fiddle around with it and get it around eventually. Elbow can go up, and yeah, oh, it has a swivel here. This part can come up, so it's double jointed, but it is able to do a 90-degree bend on his initial arm. Oh, also for transformation, just get the thumb and flip it out. It is on a ball joint, so you can pose it, but finger wise you can't with this hand. Onto the same hand, does the exact same, but the hand is slightly different because, well, do the same with the thumb. You know, it's on a ball joint, you can move it, you can do what you want. But you also have a trigger finger, and it closes, and you also have the 3 fingers at the end. It's a pretty decent articulation for what it is, and it does the job. Still would be nice if it had unicorn level opposability on the fingers for a number of reasons. And that's generally it for his hands and his, well, this section. Upper body. He does kind of have an ab crunch, but it's more of a backwards ab crunch. It's only by 1 click, but it's there. I mean, don't really work like, but oh well. Onto his lower body. His waist can go up and back. It has a little bit of a clearance issue, just here. But if you bring the leg out, you can get the whole, well, about that much. So not. Oh wait, there we go. So his upper legs are pretty movable. He can do the splits, except for a crotch section, and the back kibble limits him from sitting down properly while you're doing the splits, which is painful. Just flip the other leg down. He has a ratchet which can go about 2 clicks, 3 if you want to move the tail out of the way, and just 1 more, but obviously tail part goes out of the way, which is a bit cack. He has, oops, his body collapsed. He has a ankle pivot in a way, was just like that, but it only really goes outwards. But with the feet, it's actually very smart how they've done it, because if you look here, it's actually out aligned. You can actually move that to get a pretty decent ankle pivot inwards, but just how that works is pretty darn nice. Can go forwards and backwards, sort of. And, well, that's about it for his lower body. Size comparison. Follows Cybertron, but in the G1 colour scheme with the odd add-on kit. Right, comparison. It does tower over him quite a bit, about another 3 heads or so of this one's. So yeah, it is quite tall. Not as tall as MP10, sadly. Should have been taller, in my opinion. And well, yeah. Colour differences between this one and the Takara standard release is, again, you have the arms here that are coloured, but you also have the waist here with a black outline. I'm not sure if it was silver on the Takara one. I think it was white there, and he also has silver on his legs. They both had the same silvery blue here. The colours are the same here, see-through. He has gold on the inside of his toe, while the Takara one has gunmetal grey, which is a bit dull though, on the dull side. generally, out of what I can see, that's about it. But yeah, it is slightly different, which is nice. Gimmicks. Just his eyes can do the same as he does in Dinobot mode and change his eye colour. So, and it is both acrylic, both eye sets, which is very nice. He can, well, this is a bit of accessories and gimmick at the same time. But what you can do with this arm is if you just, orientate it, get the thumb out of the way, like that, you can get the gun. And if you notice, the ends of it are see-through and the handle is also see-through. Plug that in to his arm like so. And there's a little button back of his arm. This one, you can press it in. There's the battery compartment. It has one screw. So I'm guessing it's pretty easy to get out. Never really tried. And it lights up pretty nicely. Get the camera focus. Just like that. Which is pretty nice. I like to have it on his other arm though. And it has this tiny little peg. Just there. And with the other arm, just get his finger out. Just like that. And put his hand like that. And then what you can do, there we go, is use that tiny little peg to work as a way so he can hold it, which is quite nice. Instead of it being on the inside of the hand, which I find is quite weak generally, it works a lot better because it's on top of the hand. And you also have a sword with very nice chrome. Again, see-through on the handle as well. But just stick. Did your thumb just pop off? Right, first time he does it to me, obviously, camera. Just, there we go. Get the sword, put it in his hand. And the light on the sword works a lot better because of how it's like irrigated in the middle. But it works a bit better with the light. If it was stronger, I'd imagine it might come out better. But, oh well, it works. Be nice if you could maybe lock it in place. But then the batteries would leak. And that's his weapons. I can't remember if this one came with a throne. No, it didn't. But he does have a crown. Very nice. Chrome. Gold. Chrome. And his crown. That is the front. Generally though, I kind of thought that was the front. Because it looks kind of like horns. Which would make a little bit more sense. As though it kind of gives a Triceratops kind of look with it. But, oh, and it has a subtle engraving. If I can focus. There we go. Just a little engraving down there. And that's for the little like switch on the back of his head. On the inside, for the crest kind of thing at the top of his head, it's engraved there, so it fits very nicely and snug. Just go into his head. There we go. And then you can just pop it on. Which in my opinion looks absolutely awesome. I prefer it with the red eyes because it gives, again, more of a posing look with it being a crown. There we go. And it's very nice. It reflects the light very well, obviously, because it's chrome. Would have been nice if his fingers were painted chrome, so it kind of matched up that tad more. But it works pretty nicely. And, well, yeah. Generally, that's about it. Oh, and then also when you put it into Dinobot mode, when you transform into robot mode, the insignia Dynamite mode hides, but in Autobot form it actually goes up. And you have the signature on the wings, well, tummy wings, whatever you call them. And I find that quite nice as well. But generally speaking, that's about it. It's quite good. Works very well. And would have been nice if his middle finger was posable for reasons. Maybe got MP10 in front of him, kneeling down, with his head midway decapitated, for reasons. But yeah, that's about it. And this has been my review of MP8 Grimlock. And thanks for watching, and I will see you later, and hopefully with another review. Bye.